can a trained military with all the weapons of the state not be able to fight criminals? Bulama. It is no longer news that Nigeria is facing security threats in different parts of the country. For many months, the activities of Boko Haram insurgents and bandits have been on the rise. However, in a video that was shared by Dele Momodu, Audu Bulama Bukati, who is a senior analyst in the extremism policy of the Tony Blair Institute for Global Change, spoke about the problems facing insecurity in the northern part of the country. Firstly, Bulama Bukati said no one has the legal authority to start agitations that will not benefit the country, but the leaders have to show examples. He went on to say that the leaders have failed to set the right examples. Speaking on insecurity, Audu Bulama Bukati said Nigeria is facing a security pandemic where hundreds of people are killed monthly. He said there is no clear policy framework on the insecurity problem in the northwest. He said many governors in the north approach their security problems differently. Bulama Bukati said the federal government has failed to show leadership in this area. For this reason, Bulama Bukati also said they don't know whether to call them terrorists, criminals, or innocent merchants. Speaking further, Bulama said there are hundreds of young children in the captivity of the kidnappers, yet the presidency and governors are sleeping. He said the primary responsibility of every government is to protect the lives and properties of students. He went on to say any government who can't do this has no business in the office. In another part of the video, Bulama Bukati said the security architecture of the country is completely disorganized. Furthermore, he said that the absence of central control of the security architecture of the country is what made some governors think of creating vigilante groups. Bulama also talked about the danger of empowering youths with arms. He said the federal government should arise to its responsibility. In the latter part of the video, Bulama Bukati disagreed with the claims that Nigeria doesn't have enough manpower to fight insecurity. He alleged that the Nigerian military has an estimate of 350 military personnel. He also said, how can a trained military group with weapons and state support not be able to fight against criminal groups with estimated 50,000 militants? Wow. I mean, absolutely, 100%. There's literally nothing I can argue against. Apart from the statistics, which I cannot prove, but if the statistics are right, I mean, it's literally for every one. If you do the ratios, for every one Boko Haram militant, there are 7 military officers that can fight against that one. So the math is adding up, but in reality, it is not adding up. So I'm very much like, okay, very true. But then it's like we have the assumption that the military is properly trained, because the title says, or in his statement, he says, how can a trained military with all the weapons of the state not be able to fight criminals? First assumption, we think they are properly trained. Second assumption, we think they have all the all the weapons of the state. And it's just like, and as a result of that, the assumption is that they can fight, when in reality they cannot fight Boko Haram, and that is what it is. So it's a bit, how would you explain it? Because the people are not the ones making these decisions, and then it's like, how can you, from an outside view, being the people that are actually meant to be served, how do you then influence and add pressure, put in pressure to make sure that the government actually makes decisions on our behalf? Because now we've put them in there, it seems like there's a disconnect. The government does not know the people don't know the government. On both sides, they're like, parallel lines, not even parallel lines, on the same line, but on different spectrums, on different ends. It does not make sense. So yeah, we are assuming a lot of things here. There have been a lot of videos with the military personnel complaining about, bad, care insufficient weapons. Who is even training them? I mean, I don't know. It's like there is no excuse, because it's an absolute lie, 100%, that the Nigerian army, if everything is right, cannot fight Boko Haram. Of course they should. I mean, it's embarrassing because it's been more than 10 years that Boko Haram has been on the northern Nigerians case, and it's just like, for more than 10 years, we've not been able to fight Boko Haram. Absolutely, there has to be some laziness, some wrongdoings on the part of the Nigerian side, in which I don't know. When I'm not in the army, we don't know how it works, but leadership must be absolutely poor, undermanaged. It must, like, that is like, what else can you actually say about that? Because there is no excuse, and this man is absolutely right. So the leaders don't set the right examples, and that is what is going on. Because if the government really wanted to focus on what they want to focus on, they will focus on what they want to focus on, if that is making sense. Because if they will let what they want to thrive, that is it. Someone says, my brother, you only speak of the little ones you hear or see. I tell you true, if the world knows the killings going on, they will run and come and help us. Can you hear the idea of media not talking to Boko Haram and ISWAP herdsmen and kidnapper killings, and you're telling me that our great soldiers, Nigerian soldiers, internationally no soldiers can compare with ours, even in land, even in rivers fight. But what is going on? Give us a few seconds. And okay, sorry, but please write your comments well. Someone here says, in fact, Bulama has just spoken my heart. I'm really disturbed about the security situation in the north. Before now, northern people were recognized as God-fearing people. If you trusted an invaluable northerner, 100 years later, you will see it as it were today he received it. Yeah, but then it's not the people, is it? Because looking at the history, they are sort of infiltrated. I mean, again, when we talk about the history of a people, it's very much mixing and matching from different parts of the world. And that is what is happening with with what we know and the history we know. That's what's happening with the northern part of the country. And we're talking, it's okay, fine, leave Fulanis out of it. We're not talking non-Nigerian Fulanis. And so it's like, how did they enter the country? Again, because we have so many loopholes in our infrastructure, in the systems in place, and in regulation when it comes to food, money, health, travel, migration. Of course there will be loopholes, and of course corruption creeps its way to every aspect of the Nigerian life. So again, it's not surprising that even in the borders, because I mean, how else with a non-Nigerian Fulani enter the country? It has to be through the borders, legally or illegally. And because of lack of regulation, they can easily come in with no proper checks, no proper anything, and they go anywhere they want in Nigeria and just blending like as if they've been there since time immemorial. That's it. Put what you think about it, and don't forget to like and subscribe.